Hello, today is January 1st, 2022. This is a video that will be posted to my YouTube channel so that myself could see a reflection of me in the future. Now, today I'll be reading to you one chapter from the book called How to Start a Conversation and Make Friends by the author named Don Garber. Now, keep in mind, Don Garber is a communications trainer and author of 7 self-help books and audio tapes. He helps organizations that want people with high-impact communication skills and individuals who want to have better conversations. He is a frequent media guest, a spokesperson for Sprint, and a member of National Speakers Association. Don lives in Brooklyn, New York, with his wife, Eileen. Alright, so there's one chapter in this book that's always inspired me to try to become a better conversationalist. So let's get started. Part 1, Chapter 1. Here we go. Chapter 1 is titled Starting Your Conversations with Confidence. First contact, body language. It says, "It's a luxury to be understood," quoted by Ralph Waldo Emerson, born 1803 and died 1882. He was an American poet and essayist. One of our most important conversational skills doesn't come from our tongue, but from our body. Research has shown that over half of face-to-face conversation is nonverbal. Body language, as it is called, often communicates our feelings and attitudes before we speak, and it projects our level of receptivity to others. Most poor conversationalists don't realize that their non-receptive body language, crossed arms, little eye contact, and no smiling is often the cause of short and unsustained conversations. We are judged quickly by the first signals we give off, and if the first impressions are not open and friendly, it's going to be difficult to maintain a good conversation. The following softening techniques can make your first impressions work for you, not against you. The word soften is a six letter word abbreviation that can help you remember how to have that perfect first contact body language. A softener is a nonverbal gesture that will make people more responsive and receptive to you. Since your body language speaks before you do, it is important to project a receptive image. When you use open body language, you are already sending the signal, "I'm friendly and willing to communicate." If you are, each letter is softened represents a specific nonverbal techniques for encouraging others with you. Again, the word is soften. Here's a little illustration of what this looks like. So it's a 6-letter word, soften, and it abbreviates to, as we can see here, the S reminds you to smile. The O reminds you to be open-armed. An F reminds you to be forward-lean. A T reminds you to be touchful. And an E reminds you to be eye contactful within yourself when you are speaking in a community group. And then an N means to just remember to just nod every time somebody's talking to you, like a Jew. Just make sure you just go like that every time somebody's talking to you. That way people could actually see that you're not ignoring them. So again, this 6-letter word, which stands for soften, is always a plus to keep in mind. A pleasant smile is a strong indication of a friendly and open attitude and a willingness to communicate. It is a receptive, nonverbal signal sent with the hope that the other person will smile back. When you smile, you demonstrate that you have noticed the person in a positive manner. The other person considers it a compliment and will usually feel good. The result, the other person will usually smile back. Smiling does not mean that you have to put on a phony face or pretend that you are happy all of the time. But when you see someone you know or would like to make contact with, do smile. By smiling, you are demonstrating an open attitude to conversations. The human face sends out an enormous number of verbal and non-verbal signals. If you send out friendly messages, you're going to get friendly messages back. When you couple a warm smile with a friendly hello, you'll be pleasantly surprised by similar responses. It's the easiest and best way to show someone that you've noticed him. A smile indicates general approval toward the other person, and this will usually make the other person feel more open to talk to you. The letter O in the word soften can abbreviate to having open arms. The, the letter O in soften stands for open arms. You've probably been welcomed with open arms before, which of course means that a person was glad to see you. At a party or in another social or business situation, open arms suggest that you are friendly and available for contact. During a conversation, open arms makes others feel that you are receptive and listening. On the other hand, standing or sitting with your arms crossed makes you appear close to contact, defensive, and close-minded. Add a hand, uh, add a hand covering your mouth and your smile or your chin, and you are practically in the classic thinker's pose. Quotation mark. Now just ask yourself this question: are you going to interrupt someone who appears to be very deep in thought? Probably not. In addition, crossing your arms tends to make you appear nervous, judgmental, or skeptical, all of which discourage people from approaching you or feeling comfortable while talking to you. Some people argue that just because they have their arms crossed, it doesn't mean that they are close to conversation. They say, I cross my arms because I'm comfortable that way. They may be comfortable, but the problem is that while no one can read minds, they can read body language. Crossed arms say, stay away and my mind is made up. Open arms say, I'm available for contact and willing to listen. Come on over and talk to me. The letter F should remind you about forward lean. The letter F in soften means forward lean. Leaning forward slightly while a person is talking to you indicates interest on your part and shows you are listening to what the person is saying. This is usually taken as a compliment by the other person and will encourage him to continue talking to you. Often people will listen back with their hands over their mouth, chin, or behind their head in the relaxing pose. Unfortunately, this posture gives off signals of judgment, skepticism, and boredom from the listener, since most people do not feel comfortable when they think they are being judged. This leaning back posture tends to inhibit the speaker from continuing. It's far better to lean forward slightly in a casual and natural way. By doing this, you are saying, I hear what you're saying and I'm interested. Keep talking. This usually lets other people feel that what he is saying is interesting and encourages him to continue speaking. Take care not to violate someone's personal space by getting too close. Too soon, of course. If the situation calls for it, the closer the better. However, be sensitive to the other person's body language. Remember, there are cultural differences in what constitutes a comfortable distance between strangers engaged in conversations. For more ways to improve your conversations with people from other countries, read chapter 10 through 11. The letter T stands for touch. The letter T, which is one of the 6 letters among the word soften, should encourage you to remember the letter T, which stands for touch. In our culture, the most acceptable form of first contact between two people who are just meeting is a warm handshake. This is usually true when meeting members of the same or opposite sex, and not just in businesses, but in social situations too. In nearly every situation, a warm and firm handshake is a safe way of showing an open and friendly attitude toward the people you meet. Be the first to extend your arm in greeting. Couple this with a friendly hi, a nice smile, and your name, and you have made the first step to open the channels of communication between you and the other person. Some men don't feel right in offering their hand to a woman first. They say they will feel stupid if the woman didn't take or shake their hand back. Emily Post states in the revised edition of her book of Etiquette that it is perfectly acceptable for a man to offer a handshake to a woman, and that in most cases it would be rude for either men or women to ignore this refusal of being a friendly gesture. Some women, on the other hand, feel that they are being too forward if they offer a handshake to a man. They think the man might get the wrong idea if they extend their hand first in greeting. The problem is that there are two people who are afraid to shake hands. Although there are some who create expectations because of religious customs of the people. I polled on the subject. I agree. No matter who makes the first move, nearly everyone likes the form of physical contact. It's safe and non-threatening for both parties. This keeps personal defenses down and creates an atmosphere of equal and receptive people between you and I. More personal forms of touch should be exercised with a sensitivity to the other person's culture in a warm, non-aggressive manner. It is also important to end your conversations with a warm and friendly handshake in business as well as social situations. Couples within groups who bright smile are sometimes friendly statements. I've really enjoyed talking with you, or let's get together again soon. This is an excellent way to end a conversation and leaves you and the other parties both feeling good about the exchange they just had. The letter E should stand for eye contact. The letter E within the word soften represents eye contact. Eye contact. Perhaps the strongest of the nonverbal gestures are sent through our eyes. Direct contact indicates that you are listening to the other person, and that you want to know about her, couple eye contact with a friendly smile, you'll send this unmistakable message. I like to talk to you and maybe get to know you better. Eye contact should be neutral and not forced or overdone. It is perfectly okay to have brief periods of eye contact while you observe other parts of the person's face, particularly the mouth. When the person smiles, be sure to smile back. But always make an effort to return your gaze to the other person's eyes as he or she speaks. It is common to look up, down, and all around when speaking to others. It is acceptable not to have eye contact at all times. Too much eye contact can be counterproductive. If you stare at a person, she may feel uncomfortable and even even begin to be suspicious about your intentions. A fake state can appear as aggressive behavior. If it takes the form of a challenge as to who will look away first, it is not wise to employ eye contact as a power struggle, because it will usually result in a negative, defensive, responsive, and create such suspicions among others. If you have a problem maintaining comfortable eye contact, try these suggestions. Start with short periods of eye contact. Then, maybe within only a few seconds, look into the pupils of the other person's eyes and smile. If you have a problem maintaining comfortable eye contact, again, try suggesting to start short periods of eye contact, maybe among a few seconds of your understandings, and don't push others to do so. Then let your gaze travel among the features of their faces. And then begin close contact within your gaze gestures. Again, this then lets you gaze travel over the features of their faces, their hairs, their noses, their lips, and even their earlobes. There is a 6-inch diameter around the eyes that can provide a visual pathway. Remember, after a few moments, go back. Looking the person right in the eyes, you can look back and forth between both eyes while increasing the amount of time that you experience direct contact as the conversation continues. Avoiding eye contact can make both parties feel anxious and uncomfortable, and can give the impression that you are uninterested, dishonest, and even bored with the conversation and the company. The result will usually be a short and unfulfilling conversation, so be sure to look into the eyes of both people who you are speaking with and are trying to send a direct message. I hear what you are saying. Go on. It's one of the most common speeches to use whenever you feel uncomfortable within a conversation that you feel is going on rightly adjusted for your own suit. The last letter among the word soften is the abbreviation which is called nod. The letter N stands for nodding. A nod of the head indicates that you are listening and that you understand what is being said. It usually signals approval and encourages the other person to continue talking. A nod of the head couples a smile and brings friendly hellos into an excellent way of greeting people on the street or anywhere else. Like all other softening gestures, it sends the same message: I'm friendly and willing to communicate. However, a nod does not necessarily mean we are agreeing with each other. In fact, if you want to be sure someone agrees with what you're saying, just simply ask, do you agree? Now, the body language and the tone of voice equals words to total communication. Remember that these non-verbal softening gestures alone do not replace verbal communication. Moreover, if you only see an isolated gesture rather than a cluster of gestures, your perception of the other person's receptivity may be incorrect. However, when you look for and use clusters of these softening gestures together with a friendly tone of voice and invitation words, you will create an impression of openness and availability for contact and conversation. With practice and a greater awareness of body language, you will be able to send and receive receptive signals and encourage others to approach you and feel comfortable. Notice other people's body language as well as your own. This will help you to identify softening techniques and recognize levels of receptivity in others, therefore minimizing the chance of being rejected. Look for people who display receptivity body language and project receptive body language by using softening techniques. They really do work. So, what is total communication? Total communication brings a tone of voice, the words that you choose within your tone of voice, and the body language. So, it says starting conversations at a party is easier if you first take a little extra time to prepare mentally. Scan a few current magazines and newspapers for unusual, uninteresting stories. Look for any news items that may be of interest to others. Try guessing what their topics are within a party. In addition, write a short list of events going on in your life that you are willing to share with others. Remember, the more conversational fuel you bring to the party, the easier it will be to break up the ice and start a great conversation going. When you enter a room, look for friendly faces among the crowd and for people talking. You might assume that just because people are having a lively chat, they are old buddies, but often they have just met minutes before, so don't assume you're the only outsider. Use plenty of eye contact, smile, and above all, keep your arms uncrossed and your hands away from your face. Begin to circulate around the room, observing the people as you travel to the food table, bar, or central area where people are congregating and talking. Keep your eyes open for friends, acquaintances, or people already engaged in a conversation that appears open to others. Then casually stroll over and using their names if you remember, say hi, how are you? Or, well, hello, it's been a while. How have you been? Or, hello, my name is. Or, hi, I didn't meet at. Or, my name is. Remember, what you say is less important than sending body language signals that may say or want to communicate. When you meet a complete stranger at a party, The easiest way to break the ice is to introduce yourself and say how you know the host. In most cases, the other person will reciprocate. Listen carefully for any words that may suggest a common interest or connection. For example, perhaps you both work for the same business or live in the same neighborhood, but never had the opportunity to formally meet. Now, you can also comment about the food, the music, the pictures on the walls, or anything or anyone in your immediate surroundings. As long as it is positive, here are some opening lines that will come in handy at a cocktail party. To someone beside you at the food table, here's one line. I'm wondering, do you have an idea what ingredients are in this appetizer? It's fantastic. Two, another line to someone tapping her foot to the music. You can just look at her and here it goes, quotation mark. You look like you're really enjoying this music. Me too. Do you want to dance? Giggle, giggle. Um, to someone who is obviously spending extra effort to look really snazzy. Quotation mark. You could approach him with this line saying, "Excuse me, but I couldn't help but to notice what an attractive scarf you have on. How did you come up with such an unusual way to tie it?" To someone standing alone after a business-related party. Uh, Quotation mark. This is a good way to take that line. It says, "Hello, my name is Sam. Actually, I'm a new member in this organization. Uh, what did you think of tonight's speaker?" To someone admiring to someone to someone admiring an adequate or knick-knack. Uh, Here's a quotation mark. You can say, "I love all these old toys and odds and ends. I think our host must like to go to garage sales and flea markets as much as I do. I wonder why so many people love to collect the strangest things." To someone dancing, "Excuse me, but you sure look great out there on the dance floor. Will you show me a few steps?" Boy, you sure do have to have a lot of drinks in your system to be able to do that. Last one, but again, this is chapter 1. We will be reading chapter 2 pretty soon. Again, this is for my own personal gain of understanding on how to become a better conversationalist. This is a book written by Don Gabon. Now, this book is very special to me because I got this book by a teacher, a great teacher of mine. So stay tuned. I'll be reading chapter 2 pretty soon. And again, this is your host, Javier D. And until later.